So there comes a time in everyone's life when they have to make decisions.
Okay.
And we are back to tell you our big decision, which is we got married on September 22nd, 2024.
For those of you that didn't know.
What do you think I was going to say? See, you're a hater.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was going. Anyway.
No, wait a minute. You can't be a part of the hating crew.
I ain't hating.
I was just giving the people a little tease.
Okay. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway,
Mm-hmm.
there is an elephant to address in the room, and that is the unkept promises that we made. You keep trying to say it was just me, but it was a we decision.
You said it.
It was a we decision.
You said it.
It was a we decision to keep you guys updated during the process of our wedding planning. And as you all can see, we got one episode into that, and yeah.
I mean, I think it was an episode of substance.
Okay.
But I do think we could have done, I mean, we apologize. The reality is we're not going to be, prideful over here. We apologize because we promised you all a journey, and we literally led you to the water, hopped on the boat, and said bye-bye.
And left you there.
But we're back. And
yes,
we hope that
back.
you are excited to hear about the journey because we're still going to tell you about it. We just didn't get to take you along with us.
Right.
But now we will.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, welcome back to Not So Crazy Love.
Not So Crazy Love, Season 4.
Season 4.
I'm Erica, aka Boss Lady.
And it's your boy, Derek.
And we've had a relationship that some might have considered a little crazy.
We met in 2010 and were in a long-distance relationship for 8.5 years.
And then got engaged and married, and now we're here to inspire listeners who are in or desiring love.
So, what some may consider crazy
is what we consider love. So this is
Not So Crazy Love.
So we used to do this thing called weather check.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got the idea from our former couples therapist, and she used it as a tool for us to be able to communicate with one another.
Yeah.
Especially when it was maybe difficult to communicate our feelings and emotions. So we were related to the weather because the weather is tangible, so you can see clouds, you can see the sun, and that's how we did it. So while we do feel like that is a good tool for people to use if you have communication troubles and maybe are struggling with a bit of communication, we have evolved.
Yes.
And so this podcast is about to evolve. And
as you can see,
we're now, you can see us.
Yes.
Which is a big thing for me because
both of us, because if you guys know us personally, neither one of us like to be in front of the camera. No. We are behind the camera people.
Behind the scenes, I write, I'll decorate, I'll produce. He'll do photography.
I'll record.
He'll record. He will do everything behind the scenes.
Yes.
So we are those people, but we're really pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone because we have to evolve with the times.
Yes.
So like that, we are going to be evolving into a new segment, which is couples we are inspired by.
Yes.
And I'm not saying we aspire to be them.
Just inspired.
We're inspired. Okay? Because we are our own people.
Exactly.
Do you want to go first? Is there a
couple?
couple?
You can go first, my love.
Really, bro?
New name for her this season is Boss Wifey. It used to be Boss Lady, but it's Boss Wifey now because she's my wife.
Boss Wifey. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, a couple that I'm inspired by. Not currently in my current state am I inspired by them, but my high school self is inspired by them.
Okay.
Keisha and what's the little boy from Hollywood Hills? What's his name?
Hollywood Hills.
The boy from Forever.
Oh, Justin.
Keisha and Justin. Thank you.
Okay.
I am inspired by them because had my high school self been so mature to let go of situations that did not serve me, like Keisha and like Justin, I think I would have had a little bit of a better sense of boundaries. And they're very mature for their age, even though they kept breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together again.
Fix it.
You know, yes. But I my high school self, my younger self is inspired by Keisha and Justin from You. And if you haven't seen Mara Baraka Kills You, I mean, from Forever, Lord, not you.
Not you.
I'm not inspired by that.
No.
From Forever on Netflix. I'm definitely inspired by them, my younger self.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
What about you?
For me, it's funny that you're inspired by those two, because for me, I am inspired by Justin's parents.
Yeah.
I think the type of parents and the type of marriage that they displayed is something that we don't always get to see.
Right.
In Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's not always portrayed that way. So to see them have a dynamic where he was a man of few words. Like, he spoke, but he didn't have to always say a whole lot.
Right.
And to see how she respected him and also how he respected her. Like, even the statement, I know everybody's seen it all over social media, the statement that he made where he was like, if me and your mother ever get divorced, just know that she left me because she was the best thing that happened to him.
Wow. Yeah.
I think just the way that they displayed the kind of husband and wife that they were, but also the kind of parents that they were.
Yeah.
They weren't absent parents. And they were very much involved in, their kids' lives.
Yeah.
Yes, she was a helicopter mom. And he was
nice to see.
Yeah, and he was more of the dad that was like, look, he's growing up, let him grow up.
Right.
I can appreciate that. And I appreciate the balance that they had, because in situations where they may not have necessarily agreed with what their son wanted to do, when Wood made a decision about how something was going to go,
right,
she might have pushed back immediately in the moment, but then it was like, all right, whatever.
I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bit of a. Are y'all getting hints?
Hold on,
hint.
Hold on.
Boss wifey needs to just listen.
No, that's not the case.
Okay.
I'm just saying I like how they had a dynamic where their kids didn't see that they were able to pit them against each other.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, nowadays some kids, they know, like, they can pit their parents against each other. They know dad is a certain way, mom's a certain way.
Right.
And they will disagree in front of the children to the point where the kids are like, ha, I got that.
Right.
So I appreciated how they portrayed the Black family.
You know what? You're so right. I really, to go back to your point about how you said, if your wife, if your mother ever divorced me, just know it was her, right?
Yeah, that she left him.
And I think that's a really powerful statement, especially for a Black father to say, because there's so many portrayals of Black men being no good dads, no good husbands, they leave, they whatever. But for him to be like, no, I'm planted, no matter for better or for worse. And I think that's a great line. It was a great show. It's a great series. So glad it's coming back.
Yeah.
For season 2.
Yeah, Netflix, they didn't fumble that one because, boy,
yeah,
they definitely could have messed that one up quickly.
So, okay. So we got some
similarities, maybe?
Why am I blanking on the S word?
In sync?
We're synced.
Yes.
Well, yeah. We'll just put it there. We'll just put it there.
Yep.
So that's our new segment. We're going to be talking about different couples that inspire us, whether they're real life, fictional, television characters, in books, just to get people more inspired as well with love, because we have learned from previous episodes of how to nurture our relationship. So you can go back and learn about that. But in this season of our lives, we are really trying to continue to promote love and show, especially Black love, especially our marriage, Black marriage, because there's so many people that are hungry and really wanting and craving healthy love relationships.
Absolutely.
And we want to be able to pull those into our podcast.
Yes.
So that's our segment on couples.
I think we'll call it Couples That Inspire.
Ooh,
What do you think?
that's original.
You like that?
That's deep. No, I do like. I like it. Couples that inspire.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Not so crazy couples. Just kidding. Couples who inspire. Okay. So let's just go back to the year and 2 months that we had.
Yes.
I want to just say, okay, let's just go back. We got engaged.
Yes.
We decided to do a podcast episode to tell people that we were engaged.
Yes.
We told people in the podcast episode that we were going to bring them along. And at that point, I'd already found a dress.
Mm-hmm.
We'd already selected our bridal party.
Yep.
We'd selected invitations, but hadn't sent them out.
Mm-hmm.
We'd finalized a guest list. We'd found a dynamic planner.
Absolutely.
Verve Event Planning in Austin.
Shout out to them.
Barbara Shorts. Amazing. And we basically had things together. Or so we thought.
So we thought, yes.
I love that laugh because that laugh, tell them a little bit about that laugh. What is underneath that laugh?
Underneath that laugh is we are liars.
Yeah. We did not have it together.
We did not have it together. We thought things were going to be smooth, and it absolutely was not. Not in terms of us, but just the process of everything.
Absolutely.
It was not smooth at all.
I mean, I think, okay, so let's go back to this guest list thing because there's some people who are planning a wedding right now as we speak who may be, thinking about their coveted list of people.
Yeah.
We started off, as we told you guys in season 3, single episode season 3, that we wanted to have 75 people. That grew to 100. No, I'm sorry. We invited 230 people. Yes.
Was it 230?
Yes. And we had 150 show.
Lord.
So let's talk about the guest list because that was our first disagreement in the wedding planning process.
Yes.
And if you're disagreeing over your guest list, you are perfectly normal. Relax, breathe.
Yes.
Don't just think the whole relationship is about to end because of your guest list, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
But it's not the only thing.
No.
Okay?
Not at all.
You're going to have so many more decisions. So, all right. Let's start with your end. How did you feel about this guest list?
I was fine with the guest list.
Dude,
yes,
let me rephrase it. How'd you really feel about this guest list from the beginning?
From the beginning, I was okay with the guest list.
Mm-hmm.
I think the person that had the issues with the guest list was you. I'm just saying. There was for me, there wasn't ever any pushback on anybody that you wanted to invite. I was like, cool, whatever. Me. I'm very, very laid back and easygoing. So, I'm like, if that's what you want, that's fine with me. But there were certain people that you were just like, no. And I'm like, yo, I gave you what you wanted. Like, what's the problem?
Okay. My biggest thing was you want to invite people. Okay. You can invite people, but when you put people in your bridal party, now that is a very, very important thing to do, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Which is why some people just choose not to have a bridal party because they're like, A, I don't want to either lose friends, or B, I don't want to have to keep up with people. I just want to be focused on me,
Mm-hmm.
I was more so at first, I agree with you. I did have some issues with, I can be very honest. I had issues with the guest list. Past people that maybe, we knew about that it was already big in the first place. I'll put her there. I like saying that statement. I would say that all season. Put her there. But when it got to the point where we had to start cutting, because initially we said we were going to
when
have a certain amount of people.
I pulled the scissors out. They gone.
Now, and in turn, were people upset with you either in family, on the family side?
Possibly. I wouldn't know. Nobody came to me directly and said anything. So they didn't come to me and say it didn't happen. So no.
Okay, well, I had people who were mad.
And if they were mad, I don't care.
I mean, in hindsight, but during the planning process, if we could just transport ourselves back to that one night, I remember it so clearly. I was in the bed on the computer and you were on speakerphone because you were at home and I was here and we were talking through the list.
Mm-hmm.
I had a cup of coffee and I just remember thinking, this is going to be the most perfect moment. And by the end of it, I was like,
not.
Forget it. I don't want to do this guest list anymore. I'm sick of it. So I think we did care what people thought. I did, at least. I cared what people would think about.
To an extent. I won't completely say, that there was no care in what anybody thought. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's not about anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I won't say I had to realize, because I was already like, it's not anybody else's day but ours. Like, it's not about anybody else.
Right.
So if they have a problem with it, then, I'm sorry, we can talk about it later.
Yeah, it's true.
It doesn't, I don't have the capacity to do all that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anybody that may have been upset, hey, sorry. It's the way the cookie crumbles on that one.
And the reality is, I think somebody from our church said this to us, the people who decided not to come, not saying those that had conflicts who couldn't come, but those who adamantly couldn't put themselves aside and didn't want to show up for us, those people really weren't supposed to be in the room in the first place.
Correct.
They weren't supposed to witness that moment.
Correct.
Because their energy, their eyes, their thoughts were not supposed to be in that room. So when you're creating that guest list, you really want people who are down for you.
Right.
Because you're saying the most important thing in your life to one another. And you don't want people witnessing it and in the back of their mind thinking, this ain't gonna last.
Right.
Oh, I'm so mad. I wish that he married somebody else. Like, you don't want those people in the room with you.
Yeah. I don't think there would have necessarily been those kind of people there, but just, some people just didn't make the cut. Honestly. I think it comes down to just that. Some people did not make the cut. Like, what kind of impact have you had in my life?
Right.
Or, my relationship,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, some family didn't even really know you like that. Some family only met you that one time.
That's same with my family, right?
Or a couple times, at a funeral. So
Right. And to like coworkers, that was the other thing too. Like, my boss told me, he was like, don't waste your
I wasn't wasting no invitations on the coworkers.
No, I'm not saying that. No, we love our coworkers. That's not saying that.
Yeah, but I wasn't about to
invite people who just, if we had one of those like all you can eat buffets, well, we did, but basically more so
for those of you that were there that enjoyed the all you can eat lamb chops.
All you can eat lamb chops.
Holla at us in the comments.
But I will say, like, my boss, I appreciated him because he was like, don't send invitations to your coworkers.
Right.
He was like, we'll do something in-house with just your coworkers and you, and we'll do something smaller, but save that invitation.
Yeah.
So unless you have a close relationship with your coworker, save that invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when it comes to the guest list, there might be some push and pull. On Derrickson, it wasn't, but it was just me.
I was Gucci.
Yeah. So that's the guest list. So that was the first thing. We got engaged. We found a planner. We started our guest list because we needed to know how many people we're going to accommodate.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we recorded the podcast, we'd already selected our bridal party.
Yes.
And that's when the ship went down.
Woo. Titanic. Disaster.
I'm going to put her there.
Nah, let's go ahead. Go ahead, talk about it.
Okay, I'm going to pick her up. So bridal party. Our bridal party actually started out. Well, actually, wait, let's go back to this before we selected the people.
Okay.
For a man, as a man selecting his groomsmen, because we decided to have a bridal party. How did that feel for you? Because some men are like, I have my boys, I got my 3 solid guys, and then ladies are like, I got my 15 girls.
Right.
You know, and I was one of them, right?
Yeah,
Like you have
yeah.
your close core group, but then
Yeah.
I had like 12 girls on my side. So how did that feel, like having to select people for your side so we could have an even number?
I think I was okay. Like for me, of course, like you said, I had my core guys. And then there's an extension outside of those core guys who are people that, you know, they're friends. They might not necessarily be, you know, like my go-to guys, but they're still friends, you know, and they're people close enough that I would consider somebody that I would, you know, want to be standing with me on my wedding day, you know? So that's kind of how I went about that selection process.
And did you ever at any point feel like, when you're selecting them, were there any expectations? Like, were you like, I want them to be able to plan my bachelor party for me? Like, did you go into it kind of thinking about what you wanted for your engagement?
Well, what's funny is, so I asked Eric to be my best man. We were actually, I think we were either riding into work or it was after work. I think we were riding into work. I had asked him to be my best man. And like I hadn't, for me, like I'm just such a simple person that I had no expectations on, you know, a huge bachelor party or anything like that. Like I remember like Eric asking me, like, you know, so what ideas do you have for a bachelor party? Some things that you want to do? Is there anything that you don't want to do? And I was like, honestly, I have no idea.
You didn't tell him I don't want to go to the strip club?
Well, I mean, everybody knows me, knows that, you know, strip club is not, it's never been my thing. I've never been to one, but it's never been something that's on my list. Like, yeah, yo, I got to go to a strip club.
Okay,
like, I got to check that out. It's not who I am. It's not me.
Right.
So it's never been a desire of mine.
Which
So
is why I love
anybody that knows me, they already know like a strip club is, for me, is out of the question.
Right.
Because that's just not me.
I mean, I would think that you would tell, because some men might be like, look, I mean, there's.
Well, I mean, I know my cousin, he was the first one like, yeah, we're going to the strip club. And
that's
I was
what
like,
I'm saying.
all right.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta be specific.
But he wasn't my best man and he wasn't the one planning the bachelor party.
There it is.
So
that's true.
So yeah, so that didn't happen. So, you know, for me, I was just like, I mean, we can go eat and go bowling.
Yeah.
You know, and as you know, after we ate on the bachelor party night, like everybody, we all looked at each other like, bro, I'm old. I'm going home.
First of all, I come into the apartment.
I was tired.
Derek was sitting on the couch watching TV. And I said, what are you it was 10 o'clock and I said, what are you doing here? Should you be out? Like, shouldn't you be somewhere else but here? He was like, we ate, we talked, we hung out, came home.
Yeah, like
So-
we looked at each other because we went to a restaurant to eat and then we were gonna go to like a bowling alley, like a game spot afterwards. I think we got done eating around maybe like 8:30, 9 o'clock or something like that. And so we're all, you know, talking, sitting around looking at each other. Like the place to go bowling was, I believe, like 45 minutes away. So we're all looking at each other like, so what y'all want to do? I was like, I don't know about y'all. I'm tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm going home.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else, we dapped each other up. It was like, all right, I'll holler.
I mean, it's the thing
And
is
that may seem boring to some, but you know, that's me.
that's you're a simple guy.
I don't require much at all.
And I love that about you. Like, I love that you are a man who's like, I'm chill. It's wild that you got married to me, who
Not chill.
No, I mean, I'm not. I'm chill with regards to personality.
Okay.
Let me rephrase. I am chill when I want to be, but I am high maintenance also when I want to be.
I'll give you that.
Okay, good. So, but yeah, the bachelor party experience should represent you. It shouldn't be something that you feel like you should do the way other people do it, because it should be a way to celebrate what you love.
Right.
So that leads me to my bridal party. I had 12 lovely women. And it did dwindle. We got down to 7.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm high maintenance.
No.
And for Derek to co-sign on that, I appreciate, because if it were because of me, I would admit it. I think that there are certain situations when people have difficulty with change. Mm-hmm. And you find this when you have funerals. They always say funerals, wedding, babies. They always say, not in that order. But when you have babies, or when you have a wedding, or when there's a funeral, the true sides of people come out, you know?
Yeah.
And you might discover people who might have always been kind of in the background in your life. They step up to the front, and they become your main person during that season,
right,
you know? So I had 12. One of my friends, she had her first child. So that was, you know, something she was still able to bless us. She and her husband were able to still come to the wedding, which we really were appreciative of.
Yeah.
You
belly
know,
and all.
Belly and all. Just so cute. Just so cute. And so we were able to, so that worked out. And then, you know, there were some changes, some changes within the group. But the main thing where I did lose friends.
Yeah.
I lost
unfortunately
3 friends throughout all of this. And it's not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
So I have met so many other women who have had a larger bridal party, and they have lost like best friends, like core friends over money, over parties, over they weren't the maid of honor, over silly stuff.
You know, I just want to say,
yes,
that kind of stuff doesn't happen with guys.
Well, your crew, because y'all went to eat and came home at 9:30 at night.
Not just my crew. Mm-hmm. Guys, period. That kind of stuff
is not true.
That is very true.
That
kind of stuff does not happen with guys.
Guys, if there is a man listening to this who has lost a friend or family member, jumping the broom is an excellent example of this.
It's not a common thing.
But remember, jumping the broom. Remember, he didn't make him his best man. He made so he ended up Derwin made who was getting married?
I don't remember.
Laz Alonso made Derwin his best man, and not the comedian guy. What's his name? Who
it doesn't matter.
Guys, it does matter. But
it doesn't matter.
But in the end, he was upset that he made his like Wall Street, very polished best friend his best man.
Okay.
And not him, because they grown up together in the streets, you know, in Brooklyn, whatever.
Okay.
So there's an example.
But did they lose each other in the end? Exactly.
That's true.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying. He was still at the wedding. It's true.
Guys don't go through that.
I don't know what happened. Like, and this is me picking her back up. Like, I'm picking her back up in this moment.
It up. Go ahead.
Because the reality is, I chose who I wanted to be my maid of honor.
Yeah.
My maid of honor, Natalie, was an exceptional maid of honor, to the point where
clutch. Yeah,
like she stepped in to help in every single way, and she helped organize a group of women that she barely knew, and all of them.
She even helped with some of the stuff with us.
Yeah, with even some of the things with us, and making sure that from the very beginning, the vision that I wanted was carried through. Mm-hmm. And I chose her because I've known her for a long time. There was a season where Derek and I had a really tough season. Mm-hmm. And we spent some time apart, and she was a part of that, and was instrumental in really the reason why we had our wedding in Austin, because we took a girls trip to Austin during that season. So I just feel like the people that I chose to be my bridesmaids, it was not to say that you weren't important to me, because you were definitely important, because you were up there with me.
Yeah.
It was just, I chose Natalie because I knew that she could help bring a group together this way. So when you're choosing your bridal party, if you decide to have a bridal party, you may lose some friends. You just prepare for it.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility if you have friends. But the other thing too is it's like a group project. We learned this in elementary school. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't pull their weight.
Yeah.
There's always going to be the case. You can have a bridal party of 2 people, and out of the 2 people, there's probably going to be one of them that's not going to pull their weight.
That's always a group project. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then put in, these are people who have families, who might have children, husbands. So things happen. But the other part too is the women who were not a part of the wedding had never been in a wedding before. And that's not to say, because there were some people in our group who had never been in a wedding before either, but they still knew how to act right. So I just think in the end, it was an issue with change.
Yeah.
You know, it was an issue with transition. It was an issue with change. I still love him. I forgive him. But are we friends? No. And do I feel like, will we move forward and speak? Hopefully one of these days. But the reality is, I think I'm okay with closing that chapter because they're not supposed to be a part of our new situation.
And it's unfortunate because they were so excited about it.
Yep.
In the beginning. So it's unfortunate that I won't say unfortunate. It's, that's on them that they didn't get to be a part of the celebration along with us.
Yeah. And decided not to come to the wedding at all either. Yeah. So, I wish them luck. Yeah. And I'll put her there because I'm not spending the rest of the podcast talking about them.
That's right.
So the next thing that I will say too is after we got our bridal party together, the guest list, the bridal party, of course, all those things. The next big thing leading up to the day, because we're trying to take you on this journey leading up to the day.
Yeah.
So the next big thing leading up to the day was figuring out venue. Did we have a venue already?
I think we had the venue was actually one of the first things we had already.
That's right. We had a venue. Mm-hmm. We had that's right. We didn't have a caterer yet.
Caterer. Okay.
Yeah, because we went on a couple of tastings.
The tastings that we did were with the people the ones I went on were with the people that were actually catering.
So I went on
because we went on 2, the 2 that were in Austin. At UC.
Yeah.
And it was with the same caterer.
Which
was actually the people that catered the wedding.
That's right. So we had to figure out a menu.
Yeah.
And so this is the origin of the all you can eat.
Good eating.
So we got, initially the idea was the Creole. It was supposed to be this Baroque French romantic theme. That was the full feel.
In the words of others that I've heard talk about it, they said it was Black Bridgerton. And I did not think of it that way. It was not intentional.
That was not intentional. I really did not think of it that way. I just knew that I couldn't have an all pink wedding because that would have annoyed Derek.
No,
I'd have been fine. You would have been fine with it, but I wanted to be respectful of us coming together. So Derek's favorite color is blue. I know that I can't do a navy blue because that's not my vibe. Mm-hmm. So I chose French blue. And which was amazing. Yeah, like it was this kind of Wedgwood, very cute, posh, chic. But then we had accents of pink, blush, mauve, cream. Those are my other colors. Yeah. But I was like, let's incorporate a softer blue for Derek. So anyway, the food was supposed to be this kind of Creole feel. Mm-hmm. And I know that when you're in the South, you love to eat. Like they serve you big portions, good food. You're going to have a good time. Wanted gumbo. I wanted fried fish, mac and cheese. I wanted, I don't know, like that was like the boudin. Like I wanted this. So my mom, of course, was just like, please don't have greens. Just whatever you do, don't have greens.
Don't have greens.
Because, greens smell. They'll make a whole place smell, right? Yeah, and so I was like, don't worry, I don't want greens. But our planner was so dynamic that she took our idea.
She was amazing.
And multiplied it, yes. Right? And so the reality is, I will say the reality is I wanted something and she showed me how to make it even better.
Yeah.
So when we went down for the tasting, she was like, well, why don't we do stations? So stations are different. It's like a buffet, but stations are, you've got certain sections curated And in those sections are their own vibe. So, for example, one section may be your Louisiana Creole station. Another station may be Vietnamese food. Another station may be Indian food. And you can just kind of go around and get different foods. But the whole point is, if you only wanted to stay at one station, you could make a plate at that one station all night.
Yeah.
Instead of having a buffet where it's like just only the same food, right? So we did 3 stations. We did your traditional prime rib, mashed potatoes,
delicious,
and rolls and asparagus.
We had the mac and cheese bar.
Then we had we had 4 stations. We had mac and cheese bar. So we had 3 different types of mac and cheese, and you could build your own with like bacon and caramelized onions and
chives and all that jazz.
Yeah, sour cream, mushrooms. You could build your own. Then we had another station called Around the World. There were small plates that had, one had like Tex-Mex chicken with a queso on top. Another was a Caribbean that had what was it? Like,
I'm hungry just thinking about all
this.
Taking me back.
What was it? Like beans with pineapple over like a rice and shrimp. It was like a Caribbean shrimp. And then the other one was braised short rib. Tell them why you wanted the braised short rib though.
The braised short rib. So Erica and I took a trip. This was one of our best vacations that we took before we got married, to New Orleans. We still got to go back there.
Yes.
But we went to this place. I forget the name of the place that we went to, but they had this bowl. They called it I think it was like a morning bowl or breakfast bowl or something like that. Anyways, it was grits with braised short rib, collard greens, and I think it might have had cheese, but it had like a gravy in there with it as well. It was amazing, and they recreated that for us for our wedding. Delicious.
Literally, Rosemary Catering Group. They literally created whatever we wanted. Like we said, this is what we think we want. Like I even went to, that was where my bachelorette was, in New Orleans. And I went to this restaurant. I sent them the ingredients to a specific plate, and they created it. And yeah, so they were dynamic.
Yes.
So that was our small plate station. And then we had another station. Oh, sorry. The mac and cheese station is where they had the lamb chops.
Yes.
So you could do lamb chops inside your mac and cheese.
The all-you-can-eat lamb chops.
Yes. And then we had another station, and that was the Creole station. So imagine my little idea of just a Creole station turned into times 4.
Yeah.
And the Creole station had gumbo. It had blackened. It wasn't fried because the fried shrimp just didn't turn out the way we wanted it to during the tasting.
Yeah.
But we did like a blackened Cajun red snapper. We did what was it? All little, like they brought out little mini hot sauces on platters to people, so that we had our waiters bring them out. Little Tabascos. And then I can't remember what else was on it was gumbo, it was fish, and we had
the to-go pizzas.
And then at the end of the night, we had late night food, and we had pizza to go in our customized like pizza boxes. Personal pans.
That we didn't get.
We didn't get.
Oh, one thing I will say to those who are getting ready to get married.
Yes.
Enjoy everything that you pay for.
Everything.
There were some things that I feel like Erica and I didn't get the opportunity to actually fully enjoy just because of the time constraint we were on, and everything was just moving, very fast paced.
But Barbara did do an excellent job of giving us, like, after the ceremony, after we took pictures, we came up to the bridal suite. They had a small table for us, and the waiters brought us a personal, like, everything from the food station. Except the pizza, but that's okay. We didn't.
Listen, I'm a pizza guy.
He is a pizza guy.
I can eat pizza every day. I don't care what anybody says. I can eat pizza every day. And I didn't get the taste.
You didn't get the taste of the pizza.
I was a little tight.
We only got a little bit of cake.
I don't even remember what the cake tastes like.
Well, we're getting our anniversary cake, so we'll be able to
we only had, so when we cut the main cake and the groom's cake, that was the only time we actually tasted the cake, and I don't remember what it tasted like.
I remember it tasting delicious, but But I also was so
I'm not
excited.
saying
I
it was
just couldn't.
bad. I don't remember the taste. So
The taste of the cake to me, it was a creme brulee for anyone who wanted to know. So we had a bride's cake, which was the blue tiered cake.
that's just me saying I wish I had more.
But babe, we're gonna the cool thing about our baker and our artist and baker is that she creates your anniversary cakes for you. So
Yes.
she recreates a smaller version of your cake for you, so you don't have to freeze it.
Right.
So we'll be able to. We're gonna take a trip to Houston because that's where the cake was made. Get the cake and then come back here and have a fresh cake. So you'll be able to have a whole cake
Awesome.
after we've been working out,
Can't wait.
trying to work off the weight.
Yes.
So we food wise, that was our food.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to create a menu, it can be around a theme. I love themes, I
Yeah, you
really
love
love
a
a
theme.
theme. So when I said it was French and it was Baroque, I don't know how I got Cajun in there. I mean, it was like black French.
Blackety black.
Fried fish. I know Barbara was looking at me like, girl, if you don't get this fried fish off your mind and get some from Papa Do's. But yeah, so I would say create your menu with things that you like to eat.
Yes.
But also if you're open to stations, that might be a way to diversify your if you're able to, if the budget allows for you to have stations, it allows you to diversify your options so that your guests, if they're vegan and they need to be able to have options, they might be able to go to another place in the station to get something that they want. So they're not just eating the vegetables. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the one thing we wanted. All of our friends have different palates. I personally am allergic to gluten, don't eat pork, don't eat beef, and so it was like, I want to be able to cater to everyone,
Right.
So if you're able to, that's great. Or if you want to do a plated meal, that's also easier. So you don't have to worry about leftover food. Cause I think we had a lot of food left over.
We did. We had a ton of food left over.
Yeah. And they gave us a lot of food to go home,
They
but
gave us a ton of food to go, and
Yeah.
we ended up throwing a lot of it away before
Yeah.
we left.
before we left, cause we were only in Austin, like,
A day after the wedding.
yeah, day after the wedding. And funny enough, the day after the wedding, we ate the food for breakfast, had cake, and then got barbecue later in the day.
Yeah.
So we didn't even eat. I mean,
We stayed in that room
all day.
all day.
I just winked for anybody who can't see us. But we really did. Like, we stayed in the room, we ate.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it was a perfect day after the wedding.
Yes.
And that's all. I'm gonna put her there.
Put it there.
Put her there about the food. So, guest list, bridal party,
Yep. Food.
food, and for me, it was also events leading up. I'm sure a lot of you might have seen. Like, I had a bridal shower ×2.
2.
My mother
Dos.
gave the one and my bridesmaids. My mother and bridesmaids gave the shower in Houston, and it was gorgeous. It was an all white shower.
Yeah.
And it was a tea all white shower. They had, it felt like a nice appetizer to the wedding.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful. And then my sisters threw a pink theme shower here in Baltimore because we knew we had friends here in Baltimore that might not have been able to go to Houston for the shower and go to Austin for the wedding. Like, that's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
So they threw a beautiful shower here at a rooftop here in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So we had that. And then my bridesmaids did their thing. And we went to New Orleans. So planning a bachelorette, I think I've heard some people say you shouldn't make your bridesmaids your slaves, but they also shouldn't feel that way. They should want to celebrate you. And
yes,
the way
that's a part of it. So if they're not into actually celebrating you, then they will end up feeling like slaves if you're asking them to do things.
and guess what? To those bridesmaids,
But there are some bridezillas as well too. There's some brides that take it over the top unnecessarily.
That's true. And I, those people be leery of those who say, I would never, or I'm normally not.
Absolutely would.
Yeah, no. So my thing is, I know that I had specific things that I wanted to do, but I never made it mandatory. I just said, this is what I want to do. Here's my vision.
Right.
You can kind of go off of that from there. So my girls, though, that bachelorette in New Orleans, beautiful house. Had an amazing pool. We had a pool day. We walked all over New Orleans in the heat. And I had a great time. Like it was just so memorable. Honestly, everything leading up to the season was why we couldn't come here and record.
Because we were busy.
We were busy.
We had every intention on like doing these episode updates of what's going on, and the time just did not permit.
So, so that's the lead up. So we don't want to give you everything all at once, right? Because we want to save some for over the course of this season. Yes, we are doing a season.
Yes, this
not
is
just
a
one episode.
Season 4.
Season 4. We're not doing just one episode. We are going to come back and give you more tidbits.
Yes.
But we wanted to at least give you some nuggets, and then we can get to the big day.
Yes.
On our next episode.
Which was a movie.
Which was a whole movie. Oh, the other thing. Photo booth.
Oh.
We had a magazine, a replica of a magazine for our photo booth.
Was amazing.
And they came from a company in Houston where they created almost like a shadow box where people could walk into it and they would look like they're on the front of a magazine cover, which happened to have our names on it.
Picture right here.
Nice. And then we also, let's see, photo booth, food, decor. Oh, hello, flowers.
Tons and tons of flowers.
That's my name on Instagram.
Erica the Flower.
And so our wedding had lots of flowers. Stems in Austin. They really did it.
Yeah.
Like
for the rehearsal dinner and the wedding.
Yeah, we had a rehearsal dinner and welcome reception, and those florals were amazing. And then for the actual wedding, they created new arrangements.
Yeah.
And those were amazing too.
Yeah, like when I got back to work after the honeymoon, everybody had already seen.
Really?
Yeah, everybody had already seen the pictures and video of the decor and everything from the wedding. So they were all amazed, especially the ladies. Women are just enamored by that stuff. So,
flowers.
Like they were looking at the flowers and they were like, "Are these real?" I'm like, "Yes, they were all real." They were like, "What?" They were
actually like Japanese roses. So some of those came from Japan, and we had like those flowers they were so delicate that by the end of the night, my bouquet was already starting to wilt. Yeah. Because they were so delicate, and with the heat, like it's almost like you'd have to preserve that bouquet immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't toss my bouquet. I gave it to my mom. Yep. Because she was my right-hand woman outside of my maid of honor, Natalie.
Never tell them all the details from the wedding, remember? Not yet.
Oh, sorry. I got excited.
It's all good.
Thank you for... Yes. So we're leading up to that.
Yes. Stay tuned.
I think we've covered... we really haven't. We also had an amazing DJ Artistic.
DJ Artistic brought the vibes.
He brought the whole... he always brings the vibes. He is the best DJ that I have.
Yeah.
Not only like personality-wise, because he's such a down-to-earth person.
Yeah.
But he is genuinely so talented. He's somebody that when I went to his first party in LA, I was like, I want him to DJ our wedding.
He brought together what we asked for, like the playlist, the vibes, the flow, everything was exactly how we talked about it.
Because he even did like segments of some songs from Baltimore, some songs from LA, some songs from Houston. But people we didn't sit down the whole. Oh, sorry. Okay.
We might have to go ahead and end this episode because
I'm
I
getting
can see
too
Boss
excited.
Wifey going to keep talking about the wedding.
I'm sorry. I wanted to just do the lead up. But if there's other things that you guys want to know about, if you have questions, we're open book.
Absolutely.
In the planning process, we were closed because, you know, we didn't want people to know all our business. We wanted people to be really like surprised and excited. But if you have questions or if you see things as we post or any photos and you have questions about it, DM us at Not So Crazy Love.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you. We would love to hear your feedback. Positive feedback only. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Like our parents used to tell us.
That's right. So let's take it back to elementary school kids. But yeah, let us know and we will let you know. But we'll talk about the wedding day next episode.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to say?
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Oh, Lord.